What if I told you there's an unseen force that can turn fear into courage, emptiness into purpose, and weakness into unstoppable strength? A power so real that it changed fishermen into fearless world changers, and a persecutor into a preacher who shook nations. This is not myth. It's the Holy Spirit. And when he enters your life, 7 powerful transformations begin. Changes that will leave you never the same again. Picture the moment. The disciples of Jesus are hiding, afraid, lost without their master. Suddenly, a rushing wind fills the room. Flames of fire rest upon them. Their voices break out in languages they've never learned. From that moment forward, these same fearful men become bold witnesses, standing before kings and rulers. The world has never been the same since. That was the first great outpouring of the Holy Spirit in Acts chapter 2. But here's the truth: you don't need to be in that upper room to experience his power. When the Holy Spirit enters your life, something shifts. Let's uncover the 7 powerful things that happen when he does. 1. He gives you new life. The first transformation is this: the Holy Spirit breathes new life into you. Before the Spirit, life can feel like walking through shadows. You may have success, but inside emptiness. You may smile in public, but at night the silence feels heavy. The Holy Spirit changes this. Jesus called it being born again, not a physical rebirth, but a spiritual awakening. Think of Saul of Tarsus, a man filled with anger, hunting down Christians, convinced he was doing God's will. But on the road to Damascus, he encountered Christ, and through the Spirit, Saul became Paul, the great apostle of love and truth. His entire nature changed. This is what the Spirit does. He takes a heart of stone and makes it tender. He gives new desires, new passions, a hunger for truth and righteousness. Suddenly, the Bible is not just ink on paper. It breathes. Prayer is no longer duty, it becomes conversation with a friend. Life takes on meaning because the Spirit plants eternity inside you. This is the first sign. You are not the same. 2. He fills you with courage. Fear is one of the greatest chains. It silences dreams, locks people into mediocrity, and keeps destinies buried. But when the Spirit enters, fear breaks. Peter, once a fisherman, denied Jesus 3 times. When questioned by a servant girl, he trembled and swore he didn't know Christ. Yet in Acts 2, filled with the Spirit, Peter stood before thousands and declared boldly, "This Jesus whom you crucified is both Lord and Christ." His words pierced hearts, and 3,000 people were saved that day. That's the difference. Fear turns into boldness. Shame turns into testimony. The Spirit whispers, "You are not alone. Speak, and I will give you the words." And suddenly you do what you once thought impossible. Maybe you've kept silent about your faith, or about your dreams, or a fear of rejection. When the Spirit enters, courage rises. You begin to step out not in arrogance, but in confidence, not yours, but His. That's the second transformation. Courage replaces fear. 3. He guides your steps. Life without direction feels like wandering through a maze blindfolded. But the Spirit changes this. Jesus called him the Helper, the Counselor, the Guide into all truth. In Acts 16, Paul planned to go into Asia. But the Spirit said no. Instead, Paul had a vision of a man from Macedonia calling for help. Obedient to the Spirit's direction, Paul went, and the gospel spread into Europe, changing history. This is how the Spirit works in your life. He doesn't just guide pastors or prophets. He guides anyone who listens. Sometimes it's a quiet nudge. Don't go there. Call this person. Wait. Other times it's a strong conviction. This is the way. Walk in it. Have you ever looked back and realized, if I had gone my own way, disaster would have followed? That's the Spirit's invisible hand at work. The third transformation is this: you are no longer lost. your life gains divine direction. 4. He brings inner peace. The world promises peace through success, money, or relationships. But even when people get these things, they still battle anxiety. True peace isn't the absence of storms. It's the presence of God in the storm. When Jesus slept in the boat during a raging storm, the disciples panicked. "Lord, don't you care if we drown?" But Jesus, with a word, calmed the waves. That same calming power lives in you when the Spirit enters. Philippians 4 verse 7 calls it the peace that surpasses all understanding. It means others look at you and wonder, how can you stay calm when everything is falling apart? That's not human strength. It's the Spirit anchoring your soul. Maybe you're facing battles, financial struggles, health issues, broken relationships. The Spirit doesn't always remove the storm, but He gives peace in the middle of it. And that peace becomes a testimony that draws others closer to God. That's the fourth transformation. Chaos gives way to peace. 5. He awakens spiritual gifts. The Spirit doesn't just comfort, He empowers. Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 12 about gifts the Spirit gives: wisdom, healing, prophecy, tongues, discernment, and more. These aren't just for the early church, they're for today. Think about ordinary people who became extraordinary through the Spirit. Stephen, a man chosen simply to help serve food, became so filled with the Spirit that miracles and wisdom flowed from him. Even his enemies couldn't resist the power in his words. The Spirit awakens gifts in you too. Maybe it's the gift of encouragement, words that heal broken hearts. Maybe it's wisdom to make the right decisions. Maybe it's intercession, prayers that move mountains. When the Spirit enters, you realize you're not powerless. Heaven's resources flow through you. That's the fifth transformation. You discover hidden gifts that serve God and bless others. 6. He produces transformation of character. One of the clearest signs of the Spirit is not just power, but character. Galatians 5 calls them the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Think of Peter again. Rough, impulsive, quick to anger. But years later, we see him writing letters filled with wisdom, gentleness, and love. That's not self-help. It's the Spirit reshaping him from the inside out. The Spirit doesn't just change what you do, He changes who you are. Anger softens into patience. Bitterness turns into forgiveness. Pride bows to humility. These changes may not happen overnight, but day by day, the Spirit chisels away the old you, revealing Christ in you. That's the sixth transformation. The Spirit makes you more like Jesus. 7. He gives you power to impact the world. The final and perhaps greatest transformation. The Spirit empowers you to make a difference. Acts 1 verse 8 says, "You will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witnesses to the ends of the earth." Power to change lives. Power to bring hope to the hopeless. Power to stand firm in truth when the world is collapsing. This is not about fame, it's about impact. Ordinary people filled with the Spirit have built schools, healed the sick, preached in dangerous places, and comforted the broken. And you may not even need a pulpit. The Spirit can use you in your workplace, your home, your neighborhood. A word, a prayer, a simple act of love, guided by Him, can ripple through eternity. That's the seventh transformation. Your life becomes a vessel of divine power that impacts generations. So, what happens when the Holy Spirit enters your life? You are born again into new life. Courage replaces fear. Direction replaces confusion. Peace replaces anxiety. Gifts awaken inside you. Your character transforms. And your life begins to impact the world in ways you never imagined. This isn't theory. It's reality for millions who have welcomed Him. And it can be your reality too. The Spirit is not reserved for pastors or prophets. He is God's gift to every believer willing to receive Him. If you've ever felt empty, fearful, or lost, remember the Spirit is waiting. Invite Him in. Say, "Holy Spirit, I need you. Guide me, fill me, transform me." That simple prayer can begin the most powerful journey of your life. And this is just the beginning. Because the Spirit doesn't only transform individuals, He transforms families, cities, even nations. In our next video, we'll dive into how entire communities were shaken when the Spirit moved in the Bible, and how it can still happen today. So stay tuned. Because the story of the Spirit is not finished. It's still being written, and you are part of it.